They may. Hi, folks. Welcome back to another Beating 42 episode where we're going to talk about round 16. People are backing up from Origin this week. And Beeb, what do you think? Who's going to play this week and who's not?
Well, I know who's going to play because they said it on the NRL app just now. So, look, there's a couple of outs. A big key out is Nathan Cleary. Yeah, so talk of him maybe being out for the season. That's big news if that happens.
Because, that's huge.
That's
huge. All right, so we'll
Roosters Storm. Well, Storm missing a few, but Roosters missing a few more. Pretty hard to go past the Storm here. You know, this game going to be played in Newcastle, which is a bit strange for these two teams, right? Obviously, no games being played in anywhere where people have COVID. I don't know if they've made decisions on no crowd yet, but you got to take the Storm, and I think the Storm will win this one by 14 points.
Yeah, and look, I had a quick look at this, and I thought to myself, the Roosters have got a lot of young guns in this team that will be the future of Origin one day. But not right now. And I just wonder whether the likes of Walker is going to be good enough to get the Roosters home over the Storm. And I went, no, not going to happen. So I'm with you. I think the Storm will win this by about 8. But it's just because their system is so good. And that's a hard thing to say because I think the Roosters have a good system too. But it just doesn't match up with those guys. So, and that's a Thursday night game, right?
Yep, Thursday night.
Right. Okay. So then what, 2 games Friday, and the first one, Warriors-Dragons?
Warriors-Dragons, big game for the Dragons this one, right? So Warriors missing a couple of players who were on a plane back from the Gold Coast, and someone on their plane had COVID, so they've now been put in isolation for 2 weeks, right? Ewan Aitken and Tony Curran, I think it was. So they're down a couple of troops. And Reece Walsh has not been named this week, which is good news for the Dragons. Dragons got a few wins, right? They get back Josh Maguire and Fui Mayono after the Magic Round craziness, where they both received 5 weeks for pats on the head. But no Zach Lomax this week, which is interesting because he was kind of due back before the Origin period, right? So another week off is not good. So anyway, long story here. I think the Dragons will win this one, and the Dragons will win this one by 4 points in a tight one.
Yeah. Look, I'm kind of with you. I think the Dragons will get home based on the Warriors outs, but I found it interesting that Dufty is back. I thought he was well and truly on the out with your club and was not going to get another game. Ravalawa has now got another shoulder charge, so he's out. And I do feel that he was harshly judged, but
yeah,
you know, I guess that's life. But yeah, look, it's just a funny one. There's a bunch of backs out of both teams, and look, it'll come down to whether or not the forwards have got enough grunt in that one. And normally you'll back the Warriors, but I'm with you. I'm on the Dragons. I've got them by 6. So the late night game, this is a big one. This is the Battle of the West. We got Panthers and Eels. Cleary in doubt.
Well, Cleary's out. He hasn't been named, right? So he's not in the 21. So he's a huge out, right? As is Dylan Edwards, who's not at fullback, right? So I think that those two are big outs for the Panthers, and I think that, you know, the Eels are a team who would think they're a chance against Panthers anyway, but now they think they're a pretty good chance without those couple of players. So it's played in Penrith. Even though it's played in Penrith, I'm going to back Parramatta to win this one in a pretty tight one by 2 points.
Right. Okay, good call. I was leaning towards the Eels when I saw that Cleary was out as well. So there's no chance he can get a late call up in this?
I think not unless some other players are ruled out, right? So my understanding is no.
Right. Okay. So that makes a big difference to my call, and I'm definitely on the Eels to win this by 6. And I think it is. It's just one of those games where the Eels just have to win, and the Panthers have been a bit scratchy coming into Origin period, and there's no bigger out than Cleary. Right now, best player in the game, hands down. So
For sure. Well, Tommy Turbo, but they're both very good.
yeah. So all right, so we move on to Saturday, and we've got the Bulldogs against Manly. Now, a couple of coaches who have been at both camps.
Yes. Didn't think about that. Had to think about that. Yeah, that's right. Trent Barrett spent half a season at Manly before he said, "I've had enough. I don't want to bring my own chairs to training." Yeah, look at this game. I only had to look for one thing, and that was whether Tommy Turbo was playing. So he's been named in number 1, and because of that, Manly will win this one, and they will win it by 10 points.
Right. It's hard to disagree. I would have added an extra 0 on the end of that, and I think Manly went 100. But look, the Dogs have got a couple of really stellar players coming back in. Flanagan, who, look, maybe I'm being harsh on, but I don't rate him. And they got Lachlan Lewis, who is a half, who's still named at 19. So I think they're just desperately waiting for next year, and that's just all there is.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, though, they are scrappy, and they will miss Adam Elliott, who's not playing. Right, he's a good, a decent back rower. But the Dogs have improved in the last few weeks, and to be honest, other than Tommy Turbo, Manly don't have that much going for them, right? So, could the Bulldogs get an upset here? Possibly, but I think that Tommy Turbo will be the difference.
Look, I can't see the Dogs being perky enough to upset Manly. So we'll move on to the next game, which is the Raiders v the Tits.
The perky Tits against. Look, I don't see the Tits being perky this week. I see them being saggy. The Raiders started to play a bit better in the last few weeks, and I just wonder whether the Titans have lost a bit of belief, right? So, I look at Tino and Fafita in Origin, just way outclassed, right? Just not very good. And, I think that the Canberra forwards will look to dominate the Gold Coast forwards here. And I've got the Raiders winning this one by 8.
Yep. Well, look, I put this game down to a matter of who's going to silk less this week, because there's a bunch of people in the Raiders who are unhappy, and God knows what's going on at the Titans. Fafita is the second highest paid player behind DCE, but yet was named on the bench for Origin. If he's named on the bench of Titans, wouldn't be upset. He's got one skill, and that is just to try and run over a small child and score. So anyway, look, I'm actually going to put a bit of belief in the Titans, and I think we can run this one home by 4. But it's only because I think we've been so bad we're due one. That's the only logic I have on that. So anyway, so what have we got? The late night game on Saturday, and the Knights and the Cowboys?
Yeah, Knights and Cowboys. Late night. Guess I'll be drinking early on Saturday, so I don't have to watch this one. I think.
Sorry, Ma.
Oh yeah, sorry. Look, the Knights are going to smash the Cowboys here. Knights to win this one by 16.
Wow. Is that based purely on Ponga coming back?
Based on Ponga, and based on the fact that your mum may watch this podcast.
She still hates you when you call their team the Cowboys stinky, right? So she's still on you about that. Look, I don't know. I don't think the Cowboys are that bad, and I don't think the Knights are that good. So to me, this is one that can go either way. This is played at Newcastle by the looks. So look, that'll be the big negative for the Cowboys. And yeah, well, I'm going to have to go the Knights by 4 because Ponga is such a difference maker, and Tamalolo has not been that big of an impact this year. Is that because he only plays 55, 60 minutes? Maybe. But yeah, there's more to it. There's more to it with the Cowboys, and look, they're going to be the best Queensland team this year. There's no question about it. But they will not beat the Knights. So we move on to Sunday, where the Broncos, the other Queensland team, has to face the Sharks, who are without the COVID-stricken Dugan.
Yeah, well, the Sharks, who could be the next Queensland team. Look, battle of two shit teams, right? So I look across both rosters and I look at and go, who do I think will want to win this the most? And I just think that Katoni Staggs back is a good in for the Broncos. The fact that Lodge and the other flog, what's his name, Pangai, will be there, right? Even though he's out suspended because he's always clocking people. I think that the Broncos will get this one. I just have a feeling that the Broncos will get this one, right? So maybe it's my dislike for the Sharks, but I also have a massive dislike for the Broncos, right? So, can it be a 0-0 draw? So Broncos to win this one by 4 points in the end.
I'm totally on board with the Broncos causing the upset here and making a win against the Sharks, because I'm just such an anti-Sharks team. And I don't know no, sorry, Henry, right? So look, mate, if you're watching, Henry, sorry, buddy. Look, Stags is a big in, and I don't know. I'm 100% with you where I think the Broncos just aren't that bad, and they will turn it over the Sharks, who at this point in time are 7th on the ladder. So that's a pretty big call. But anyway, we'll move on to the last game of the round, which is the Tigers and the Bunnies. And look, in all honesty, Tigers, wow.
Yep. Wow. Leichhardt Oval, 4:00 Sunday afternoon, right? Sitting on the hill, 4:00 Sunday afternoon, Leichhardt, a couple of tins. It's a great experience, right? We've done it, right?
We have.
But this week, no crowds because of COVID. So they've already said there'll be no one at the venue. And that's not going to matter because Tigers are shit. And the Rabbits will give it to them. The Rabbits will give it to them by 18 points.
Yeah. I think it's a valid call. Like you say, if this was at Leichhardt with a full crowd, it's only the Bunnies by 6. But yeah, this is going to be a raw. And I'm probably going to lean towards a 24+ score for the Bunnies to rort them. So it's just the way it is. So anyway, mate, there's a bunch of games this weekend. So I hope you get to watch them all.
Shall do. What else am I going to be doing during COVID, right? So thank God for the footy.
Yep. 100% with that, mate. So look, we got no sponsors this week except for the shitty Titans sponsors who are no longer with us. But other than that, mate, look, be safe, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Take care, everyone out there. Peace out. See you next week.